So, what is your question?
I was wondering how you can fall in love again after you have been really badly hurt.
Okay, I think that's a great question, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who will feel the same and who'll be curious about the same thing. Yeah. Greetings, everyone, and especially Vera Hoop from Norway. You have asked a question about love, and your question is, how can I fall in love again if I've been badly hurt? And we understand that you mean a romantic relationship. You are interested in having perhaps a happier romantic relationship. And we have a great deal of excitement here because there is much to say on this subject, and there is much that we feel can be helpful for you. For it is a very beautiful thing for human beings to connect with each other and to express love for each other and to enjoy each other. It is an extremely beautiful experience, potentially, but it can also be an emotional one and a challenging one in some ways. For, as we have perhaps already explained, much of what you experience in your relationships has been hmm, has been a result of the way in which you see yourselves and the way in which you have expected to experience other people. And much of this can have come from your past experiences, as though you have been programmed to have certain expectations of these situations. And we would love to assist you in having the most enjoyable experience of romantic love and love between human beings. And so, just for a moment, we would ask you to pause and consider how you would like or even love to experience your romantic relationships. What would be the most desirable, the most beautiful, the most enjoyable, the most blissful, and the most perfect experience for you? If you were writing a story, if you were writing a film, and you could decide what was going to happen to the lead character, what would you choose for yourself as the lead, the romantic lead in your own film? What kinds of experiences would you choose? How would you choose to feel? Allowing yourself to really dive in here and really experience the feelings that you would like to bring into your own experience. And you may have never had a satisfying or even an enjoyable experience of love with a romantic partner. And this does not matter, for all of you have the capacity to make it up, to imagine it, and to create that which you have imagined. And we cannot say this often enough, we cannot emphasize this enough, how powerful your imagination is and how useful a tool for you in creating experiences that please you. And to we would love to offer you an analogy here that we feel could be useful. If you wished to paint your room pink, but you took out the tin of blue paint and painted blue paint on your walls, you would not be surprised to find that your room was now blue instead of pink. But in the choosing of the colors of your thoughts, you are not so discerning, and you can very often mix in thoughts, energies that give you an effect that is closer to blue than to pink. So many of you have had unpleasant experiences, or perhaps you have witnessed other people having unpleasant, unhappy experiences with romantic love. And you find yourselves drawn to repeating them by painting them, literally painting them with your minds, um, describing them to your friends, describing them to yourself, reminding yourself of unpleasant experiences, imagining future possibilities that are not pleasant, and allowing your minds to travel down tracks which bring about more thoughts of unhappy and unpleasant romantic experiences. And so we would invite you to just consider being the possibility that you could be more discerning about what it is that you focus on and what it is that you think about and what it is that you choose to remember, and really, most importantly, what it is you choose to tell yourself and other people about yourself and about your experience, both in the past and in the present. And it may seem frivolous, it may seem like child's play to make up nice stories in which everything works out and you have a fairy tale ending, a fairy tale life. But we assure you, with as much enthusiasm and passion as we can possibly direct at you that this may seem like a very simple thing to do, but it is incredibly powerful and potent. Just imagining things turning out the way that you would like them to, instead of the way that you remember them or the way that you imagine they could. It is important for you also to know and to understand the relationship between your own thoughts about yourselves and your own relationships with yourselves. So, the dialogue that you have with yourself on a daily basis. This relationship and the relationships that you have with other human beings. For the other human beings, will often act as mirrors for the way in which you are relating to yourselves. So they will show you areas perhaps where you disrespect and disregard yourselves and do not consider your feelings to be important. So, these areas in which you do not prioritize yourselves, care for yourselves, consider yourselves, encourage yourselves, praise yourselves, appreciate yourselves. And so you can perhaps choose to invent a new mental voice, a new version of the voice who tells you you're not good enough, tells you you're never good enough, inventing a version of this who is the opposite, who is your cheerleader and who supports you in every way at every possible opportunity and is always appreciating every single thing that you do and say, every aspect of you, every part of you. This is like your fairy godmother and your cheerleader and your champion and your guide and your angel. And every time that you feel bad about yourself, you can invite this guide, this angel, this being, this entity to soothe you and to give you a different perspective, a more compassionate, more loving, more supportive perspective. If you practice this, even for a short time, for a month or several months, you will begin to notice almost immediately a change in the way that the people who are already in your life begin to relate to you and a change in the way that you experience the world. Again, we understand that many of you will feel that this is much too simple. This cannot be effective just because it seems too easy, too uncomplicated a solution. And we assure you that very often the solutions to your challenges are so simple that you do not even notice them, you do not acknowledge them. You perhaps feel that they're not challenging enough for you. So we invite you to consider the possibility that your lives and your challenges do not have to be so complicated. They can be much, much easier than you imagine them to be, and they can be much more fun than you imagine them to be. Even your challenges can be approached with a light-heartedness, activity, a joyfulness, a playfulness, and even a sense that you are not alone, that you are in a collaborative process with many, many, many beings of light who are working with you and for you and who are experiencing your human existence through you and who are cheering you on and encouraging you. And so, for you, dearest Vera, we would advise, seeing as you have asked for advice on this subject of being able to have a love relationship with another human being without being hurt, without feeling bad, for it can be possible for you as human beings to have what are called love relationships in which you actually are not being loved and you are not being supported or appreciated or encouraged, but in fact, the opposite is happening. You are being disrespected and disempowered and criticized and judged and found wanting. And these mm, these negative um, thoughts and these negative behaviors and suggestions can act like programs, causing you to begin to believe that you are not good enough and inadequate and bad, and they can make you feel bad about yourself. So that when you encounter another being, another human being, who is willing to assist you in feeling bad, you can be strangely attracted to them because they are sort of telling you what you believe to be true about yourself. If you have decided that you are not beautiful enough, not witty enough, not successful enough, not amusing enough, not um, young enough, whatever it is that you've decided, you can find someone to resonate with that and to basically enhance that within your own mind and within your own experience. And it is important that you begin to recognize when this is happening and notice that someone else is saying things to you or doing things which cause you to feel bad. And the heart is a wonderful and very sensitive compass. It is like a finely tuned instrument which is always responding to these thoughts and these suggestions and these behaviors, whether they're coming from you yourself or whether they're coming from another being. The heart is constantly reacting and responding and becoming either despondent or becoming uplifted. And so you will know when you experience and encounter other people, you will know when you feel uplifted, you will know when you feel light, notice a feeling in your heart, a feeling of lightheartedness. It is expansive, it is enjoyable, it is relaxing, it makes you feel good, it makes you want to share, it makes you want to open up in all kinds of ways, and it makes you feel creative. It might motivate you to take action towards some of your desires and dreams. So there's this beautiful sense of expansion when you in when you experience positivity and positive regard and encouragement and support and kindness and compassion and appreciation. All of these things feed you. It is like feeding your body with beautiful food. It is nurturing. It contributes to your vibrancy. It contributes to your well being. It contributes to every aspect of your positive, joyful, and most beautiful, most blissful, most radiant experience as a human being. Oops. And when the opposite happens, when you meet and experience people who put you down, who criticize you, who judge you negatively, who take from you or manipulate you or violate you or abuse you, all of these things contribute to the heart feeling almost as though it is contracting. It's a feeling of wanting to hide, of, of closing down, of shutting off from other people, shutting off from life, shutting off. Even the energy, you'll notice, is affected by this. It is as though the heart opens and you feel expanded, you feel alive, you feel passionate. The heart closes, you feel depleted, you feel quieter, you feel like, oh, like there's not so much energy. And many of you do this to yourselves without requiring anyone else to contribute, for you have perhaps formed negative ideas about yourselves from your conditioning, from your lives, from your experiences, from your childhood, wherever it is from. There's a great deal of this of human beings telling themselves that you are not enough, not good enough in whatever ways. And so there is this constant little voice, this like inner critic who continually bugs you and puts you down no matter what you're doing. And whether this has been externalized in the form of another human being or whether it is simply an internal voice, it is very, 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 very important and crucial, indeed crucial. We cannot emphasize this enough, how crucial this is for you to become aware of it, to notice it. Notice when this is happening. Notice the feelings. Notice your own feelings. Become the observer of every little fluctuation in your energy. Because as you begin to practice this, you will develop your sensitivity to such a degree that you can move in the direction always of energies that are nurturing and life affirming for you and energizing for you and supportive for you and joyful for you. And you can navigate your life according to what makes you feel good. And the more you are willing to take risks and to champion yourselves and to guide yourselves, not only to have thoughts and beliefs and affirmations that are positive and uplifting, but also uh, to have in your dealings with other human beings to select the ones that are life enhancing and nurturing and supportive. And the more you care for yourselves and the more you care about yourselves and the more you support yourselves in this way by always selecting very carefully, almost as though you were a precious and rare plant that needed to be nourished with the most perfect soil and the most perfect nutrients and the most beneficial amount of sunlight and the most beneficial amount of water, as as though you were this most unique and beautiful, beautiful flower that will only blossom when he or she is given the right treatment, the right care and consideration. If you can be like this about yourself, even for a short time, even just the idea of this, planting this seed of thought in your mind, I will care for myself. I will consider myself. I will select for myself that which nourishes me and supports me and allows me to grow and to shine and to blossom. Even if you can do this for a short time, you will notice that you begin to grow energetically. You become bigger. Your energy body grows. You feel stronger and stronger and stronger. And these thoughts, I am cared for, I am loved, I am appreciated, I am supported, I am beautiful, I am radiant. These thoughts begin to be the ones that rise to the surface and put out little branches and go out into the world around you, and you will begin to see them being reflected in your experiences with other beings. And it may take time to change patterns that have had time and have been reinforced and have had time to take hold and take root. It may take a little bit of time for you to break away these roots and to grow new ones. But we assure you that it is the most worthwhile occupation that you can possibly have. For as you do this, you grow stronger and you begin to be able to assist others in growing stronger and to assist others in feeling good about themselves, and you assist them also in nurturing themselves, connecting with themselves, finding their own source of power, and becoming their own champions. So, the more you can champion yourself, the more you can choose to care for yourself, the more you can support yourself, the more you will begin to effortlessly attract and magnetize other human beings who will resonate with this and who will play along with this and who will become part of this story, this new story, this story of love and care and appreciation. And we would encourage you to also be very, 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 very gentle with yourselves in this process, and to perhaps take time to grow this new version of you before you begin to jump in to relationships. So, just perhaps putting yourself at the front and center for a while and being the caregiver, the nurturer, the supporter, the cheerleader, the guide, the fairy godmother, the advisor, to and for yourself, also the lover who appreciates, the lover who sees the beauty in you, the lover who does not hesitate to compliment you and to tell you how beautiful and how wonderful and how magnificent and valued and valuable you are. So, the more that you can do this and cultivate this and nurture this new mindset within yourself, the stronger you will become energetically in every way. And the more that this version of you will take hold and grow and put out shoots and put out blossoms and be the person that is attracting and magnetizing your experiences in romantic love, but also in every other kind of relationship. And so we do sincerely hope that this has been a useful piece of guidance, for we feel so much love for you, and we feel so, so, so much regard and appreciation for you. And we are delighted to become part of your love story. This is the beginning of your love story. It is going to have a happy ending. It is a fairy tale romance. It is beautiful, it is blissful, it is far more beautiful and blissful than you can even imagine at this stage. But we assure you it will grow and grow on you. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak with you. We bless you, we love you.